Well, what a weekend it was for CBS. First, we have 60 Minutes interviewing German prosecutors who make some stunning and outrageous statements about what type of speech they consider a crime in Germany. They then join German police as they raid a man's home for sharing a cartoon on the internet. This is absolutely insane, and as you'll see, the 60 Minutes interviewer is literally laughing along with these German prosecutors as they talk about how they convict these people. Then, CBS's Margaret Brennan hosted Marco Rubio, and when she tried to claim that the Holocaust was the result of too much free speech in Germany, he absolutely shut her down for it. This is all the result of the JD Vance speech at the Munich Security Conference, where he condemned the EU nations for censoring their citizens, and then the German defense minister got up right after to condemn JD and his speech as unacceptable. Apparently, CBS has just revealed which side they are on. I'm Zach Costello.
Is it a crime to insult somebody in public?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
And it's a crime to insult them online as well?
Yes.
The fine could be even higher if you insult someone in the internet.
Why?
Because in internet, it stays there. If we are talking here face to face, you insult me, I insult you, okay, finish. But if you in the internet, if I insult you or a politician,
That sticks around forever.
Yeah.
If somebody posts something that's not true, and then somebody else reposts it or likes it, are they committing a crime?
Yeah, in the case of reposting, it is a crime as well, because the reader can't distinguish whether you just invented this or just reposted it. That's the same for us.
The punishment for breaking hate speech laws can include jail time for repeat offenders. But in most cases, a judge levies a stiff fine and sometimes keeps their devices.
How do people react when you take their phones from them?
they are shocked.
It's 6:01 on a Tuesday morning, and we were with state police as they raided this apartment in northwest Germany.
Hier ist die Polizei, wir müssen bitte mal mit Ihnen reden.
Inside, 6 armed officers searched a suspect's home, then seized his laptop and cell phone. Prosecutors say those electronics may have been used to commit a crime. The crime, posting a racist cartoon online. At the exact same time across Germany, more than 50 similar raids played out. Part of what prosecutors say is a coordinated effort to curb online hate speech in Germany.
It's a crime to insult people in public, and it's a worse crime to insult someone on the internet. It's a crime to repost a lie. Did you see the smug smile on the look of the CBS interviewer as she asked how people react when their phones are taken from them? The German prosecutors think this is pretty funny also. Germany is a police state once again. They seem to be innovative at finding reasons to become a police state, and this is precisely what Marco Rubio shuts down Margaret Brennan for here when she tries to say that the Holocaust was the result of weaponizing free speech in Germany. Watch Brennan at the end of this.
Well, he was standing in a country where free speech was weaponized to conduct a genocide. And he met with the head of a political party that has far-right views and some historic ties to extreme groups. The context of that was changing the tone of it. And you know that the censorship was specifically about the right.
No, I have to disagree with you. Free speech was not used to conduct a genocide. The genocide was conducted by an authoritarian Nazi regime that happened to also be genocidal because they hated Jews and they hated minorities and they hated those that they had a list of people they hated, but primarily the Jews. There was no free speech in Nazi Germany. There was none. There was also no opposition in Nazi Germany. They were a sole and only party that governed that country. So that's not an accurate reflection of history. I also think it's wrong. Again, I go back to the point of his speech. Okay, the point of his speech was basically that there is an erosion in free speech and intolerance for opposing points of view within Europe, and that's of concern because that is eroding. That's not an erosion of your military capabilities. That's not an erosion of your economic standing. That's an erosion of the actual values that bind us together in this transatlantic union that everybody talks about. And I think allies and friends and partners that have worked together now for 80 years should be able to speak frankly to one another in open forums without being offended, insulted, or upset. And I spoke to foreign ministers from multiple countries throughout Europe, Many of them probably didn't like the speech or didn't agree with it, but they were continuing to engage with us on all sorts of issues that unite us. So again, at the end of the day, I think that people give that is a forum in which you're supposed to be inviting people to give speeches, not basically a chorus where everyone is saying the exact same thing. That's not always going to be the case when it's a collection of democracies where leaders have the right and the privilege to speak their minds in forums such as these.
Mr. Secretary, I'm told that we are out of time.
Yeah, you're out of time. That claim that free speech was weaponized to bring about the Holocaust is insane and completely ignorant of history. The Holocaust was the result of state propaganda issued by the Nazi Party to turn their citizens against Jewish people and Jewish businesses. The Nazis had complete narrative control in Germany and completely eliminated any opposing views or speech. Media that favored their propaganda was promoted. Media that condemned it was shut down, and in fact, they were punished for it. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? The truth of the matter is, if that Kamala Harris was elected president, the United States would be right there, along with all of these other European countries. Nice job by Rubio here. But the fact that this is happening in countries around the world is dangerous stuff. History tells us where this leads to time and time again. How can a country like Germany not have learned its lesson? Last thing, guys, over half of you watch my channel and haven't subscribed yet. If you get value, I ask that you please do. My promise is to get you in 5 to 10 minutes what all of the rest of these commentators take over an hour to spit out. God first, quick-hitting commentary to keep you informed, in truth, and on the path toward your potential in this life. I appreciate all of you.